Welcome to the Daily Vibecasting. Okay, we are diving straight into the X-Fire host today. This is our rapid-fire roundup. And our mission, simple, cut through all the noise, give you the key nuggets buzzing right now. We've got a ton to get through. AI power plays, bottlenecks, space race stuff, even Christmas tunes making a comeback. So let's jump right in. First up, the AI ownership game. This post is from @DDDoes, who did some serious digging into Amazon's filings. Public reports inadvertently show that Anthropic is 7.8% owned by Amazon and up to 8.8% by Google. Amazon Q3 earnings says they gained $9.05 from Anthropic ownership.
Wow.
So to all those rumors of huge stakes, looking at the Q3 numbers, that $9.5 billion gain for Amazon lets you sort of reverse engineer these much lower figures.
Exactly. And what's really interesting, these smaller stakes, they tell a different story. It's less about control, maybe, and more about securing that vital compute access. Anthropic needs massive cloud infrastructure, So for Amazon and Google, it's like locking in a huge future customer stops Anthropic playing them off against each other.
So it's not really an investment in the traditional sense. It's like a down payment on future cloud usage.
Pretty much. A compute pipeline security deposit, you could call it.
Which leads us nicely to this philosophical split in AI, highlighted by @Rohan Pillai, Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei on open source AI models. I don't think open source works the same way in AI that it has worked in other areas, primarily because with open source, you can see the source code of the model. Here, we can't see inside the model. He calls open source a red herring. I mean, that's strong language, isn't it? Especially coming from the head of a big proprietary player. Sounds a bit self-serving.
Well, yeah, there's definitely that element. He's emphasizing that these big models are black boxes, super expensive to run, need massive cloud compute.
Implying open source just can't keep up at that scale.
That seems to be the argument.
Yes.
But, it really does underline the massive divide in the AI world. You still got loads of people championing open weights for customization, for privacy.
And to stop all the power ending up with just a few giants.
Exactly. That's the core tension.
Okay, from philosophy to, physics. Infrastructure bottlenecks. This one from @RihardJark is surprising. MSFT's Satya is saying that compute is not the bottleneck, but energy and data center spaces. In fact, the problem he has is that he has a surplus of GPUs right now sitting which he can't use. Glut. Microsoft has too many GPUs. Seriously, we hear constantly about shortages.
Right. It sounds completely backwards. But Nadella's point, it seems, is about the physical world constraints.
Like what?
Like literally building the data centers.
Yeah.
Getting the land, the permits, the power lines, the actual buildings. The warm shells, he calls them. That's the slow part, apparently slower than getting the chips themselves.
So you can have the GPUs, but nowhere to plug them in, basically.
Or not enough power to run them. Plus, he's probably wary of buying too many of one generation of NVIDIA chip. They advance so fast.
That's a good point. Obsolescence risk.
Yeah. So if you build this massive center and then hit power limits, those chips might be outdated before you fully utilize them. It's the infrastructure growth, not just silicon, that's pacing AI scaling.
Fascinating. So if physical infrastructure is the bottleneck on Earth, let's look up space infrastructure. This SpaceX milestone from @SawyerMerit is pretty wild. NNWS, SpaceX has successfully launched its 100th Starlink mission of 2025. Over 2,550 Starlink satellites have been launched this year, a new record, 100 missions in 1 year. That's what, one launch every 3.5 days or so?
Just incredible operational tempo. It completely changes the game for getting things to orbit.
And it shows Starlink's total dominance. 5 million subscribers now, is it?
That's the number. But, launching that many satellites that fast, it definitely brings up the other side of the coin.
Orbital congestion, space junk.
Exactly. How do we manage all that traffic up there? This kind of launch rate forces that conversation, whether we're ready or not. The sky is getting crowded fast.
Right. Okay, let's come back down to Earth. A really interesting peek behind the curtain at NVIDIA, specifically Jensen Huang's family. Credit to @Pitezi. Both of Jensen's kids pursued their passions, but ultimately decided to work in the family biz. Spencer spent a decade as a photographer and cocktail bar owner before NVIDIA. Madison trained at CIA and Le Cordon Bleu, studied pastry and wine, and now works in product at NVIDIA. I love this. A photographer and bar owner, a Cordon Bleu trained pastry chef, ending up in key product roles at NVIDIA.
It's a great story. And it points to this idea of delayed legacy succession. They didn't just parachute in.
They went out, did their own thing first for quite a while.
Yeah, gained totally different experiences. Imagine the perspective, someone with a background in hospitality or fine arts brings to product design or user experience compared to someone who's only ever done engineering.
That's true. Different ways of thinking. And they landed in specific strategic areas, too. Robotics, Omniverse.
Suggests they really earned their spots, bringing unique value.
Okay, and rounding out this section, a cultural moment as reliable as, well, November 1st. From @Greg 16676935420. It's happening. And we all know what that means. Check Google Trends. Boom, the annual spike for All I Want for Christmas is You.
Mariah is defrosted.
She emerges. It's incredible, isn't it? That song came out in, 1994?
Ancient history in pop terms.
And yet, it's basically the official starting gun for the entire holiday season. Culturally and financially, too.
Financially, how much are we...
Estimates are like $2.5 to $3 million a year. Just from streams.
Just streams. Wow.
Yeah. It's a true phenomenon. That kind of staying power is just incredibly rare.
Okay, let's shift gears. Some really relatable social commentary now moving from AI economics to human energy economics. It's from @TreeOnChain. Suddenly you're 27, you make your coffee, rush to work, come home around 7, and you're too tired to do anything except eat, scroll on your phone, and pass out. Then you wake up and do it all again. Oof.
Yeah.
That hits a nerve, doesn't it? That feeling of life just becoming this grind. Eat, sleep, work, scroll, repeat. It really captures that feeling, yeah. Psychologists call it temporal discounting, partly.
Temporal discounting. Explain that.
It's basically where the future feels really far off, abstract. So the immediate, easy comfort scrolling on your phone feels way more appealing than putting in effort for something with a long-term payoff like, exercise or a hobby.
Because you're just too drained now.
Exactly. It's that widespread exhaustion you see, especially in demanding jobs, particularly for younger people maybe still establishing themselves.
Yeah, definitely relatable. And that kind of exhaustion, maybe it makes you think about what really matters, like what intelligence even means. Which brings us to this classic debate sparked by @Erogenella1. Someone can be academically brilliant but still be very foolish. The old book smarts versus street smarts. Everyone knows someone like that, right? Brilliant on paper, but kind of clueless in the real world.
Well, there's actually psychological theory behind it. Sternberg's theory of intelligence talks about this. He separates analytical intelligence, the stuff IQ tests measure, academic brilliance, from practical intelligence. That's the know-how you need for everyday life, for adapting, for solving messy, real-world problems.
And they're not the same thing.
Not at all. Research actually shows only a moderate link, like 0.3 to 0.5 correlation between IQ scores and success outside of pure academics. You need that practical savvy, that street smarts to really thrive.
Makes sense. Okay, let's get some positivity in here, or maybe just public goal setting. This is from @MrBankstips, tweeted into existence this month. And the replies are everything from make $2 million to just get some decent sleep. It's like manifestation season is back.
It is, and it works in a way.
Yeah.
That simple prompt gets huge engagement because X acts like a public commitment device.
You put it out there, you feel more accountable.
Exactly. There's actual research showing that publicly declaring a goal, whether it's huge or small, like getting proper sleep, can boost your chances of achieving it by 20 or 30%.
Yeah.
Makes it feel more real, more binding.
Interesting psychology. And speaking of commitment, we can't skip Halloween without hearing from Michael Saylor. Credit @Saylor. This Halloween, the only thing to fear is not having enough Bitcoin. Classic Saylor. Always on message, using the holiday theme. But, he's sitting on, over 250,000 Bitcoin through MicroStrategy? Does he really need the hard sell?
Well, that hyperbole is his brand, isn't it? And it serves that corporate strategy. He's not pitching Bitcoin as something to trade quickly.
He pitches it as the ultimate long-term hold, right, against inflation, fiat crumbling.
Exactly, the ultimate store of value. And when it's trading near, say, $70,000, that message probably resonates even more strongly with his base and his investors. It reinforces his whole thesis.
Okay, shifting from personal finance to global politics. An update on U.S.-China relations post-APEC summit from @Pete Hegseth. I just spoke to President Trump, and we agree the relationship between the United States and China has never been better. Following President Trump's historic meeting with Chairman Xi in South Korea, I had an equally positive meeting with my counterpart. So, reporting positive follow-up, emphasizing improved relations after those high-level meetings.
Yeah, the focus seems to be on the practical stuff. Things like setting up new military communication channels to avoid accidents, maybe easing some trade tensions.
Deconfliction, de-escalation, necessary steps.
Absolutely necessary for managing the day-to-day, but There's still a lot of public skepticism about how deep or long-lasting this thaw really is. The fundamental issues haven't gone away.
Right. An operational improvement, maybe not a strategic sea change?
That's a good way to put it.
Okay, sticking with government, but focusing on efficiency. An update from at DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. Contracts update. Over the last 5 days, agencies terminated and descoped 103 wasteful contracts with a ceiling value of $4.04 and savings of $103M, including a $13 4M VA consulting contract for coaching support and dashboard services. Wow, that's quite a haul. $103 million saved in 5 days. And that VA contract, $13.4 million for coaching support.
Yeah, that specific example really stands out, doesn't it? It sounds like exactly the kind of potentially fluffy administrative spending that people get frustrated about.
Exactly. Consulting, dashboards.
And DOGE is highlighting these cuts, often with proof like screenshots from the federal procurement data system. It seems to have strong public backing.
You can see why. It's a visible effort to cut what looks like waste.
Definitely. A politically savvy move focusing on bureaucratic overhead.
And for our final government-related post, a really sharp bit of political commentary from the UK via @BaseNorthMather. Swedish level tax for Eritrean levels of service. Ouch. That's brutal. Let's break that down for listeners. Why is that comparison so cutting in the UK right now?
It's very effective because it plays on expectations. Sweden has famously high taxes, around 44% of GDP, right? But the deal is you get excellent public services in return.
The social contract.
Right. The Post argues the UK also has high taxes, maybe 37% of GDP, not far off. But the perception is that public services, things like healthcare, transport, are crumbling.
And the Eritrea comparison.
Eritrea is used as a benchmark for extremely low investment in public services, particularly healthcare spending per person. So the analogy paints this picture of paying premium prices for, well, bargain basement results. It's memeable shorthand for widespread frustration.
Very potent rhetoric. Okay, let's jump over to Nigeria now, exploring some cultural buzz. First, migration commentary from @DamiDami35. My bro sweating inside winter. E still day instructs a E escape Tunubu. That's punchy. So the idea is someone sweating in a cold country, not from heat, but from the sheer relief or shock of having left Nigeria, escaping the economic pressures under the current administration.
Exactly. It taps right into that whole Japa trend, the wave of immigration, especially skilled workers, driven by inflation, policy changes, economic hardship.
Seeing migration as almost a survival tactic.
Pretty much. Yeah. Although, interestingly, you're now starting to hear about Japata people returning, finding that life overseas has its own challenges, maybe unexpected costs or social hurdles. It's complex.
Definitely. Okay, switching to music culture. Afrobeats nostalgia here from @KittyCatMiss9. P-Square actually said haba habatically on a song and got away with it, haha, habatically. Merging haba, which is like an exclamation of surprise or disbelief, with habitually. I love that kind of wordplay.
It's brilliant, isn't it? And that thread really highlights how central that kind of witty, playful use of pidgin English is to Afrobeats. It's linguistic creativity.
And it's why tracks like that stick around. P-Square's legacy endures even after their split.
Absolutely. That inventiveness is key to the genre's appeal.
Speaking of Afrobeats legacies, this is a big moment. A cosign from @Despacito. Olamide just co-signed Wizkid's son, Baloatifiu. Wow. Olamide, a huge icon, publicly endorsing the son of Wizkid, often seen as his rival. And Baloatif is only, 14, just starting out in music?
Yeah, this is significant. It suggests a level of camaraderie maybe across different music camps. Olamide's YBNL, Wizkid Starboy, which isn't always visible in that competitive scene.
And it's a massive boost for the son's career, surely.
Oh, absolutely. Instant visibility, instant credibility. It fuels all those rumors about him potentially signing to Starboy Records, too. Big move.
Okay, now, for a bit of social commentary on relationships, from @WizardAb10, I tell you people every week that it is not relationship you people are doing in that green, white, green cycle days. A pretty strong take there. Basically saying dating in Nigeria often isn't about genuine connection, it's more transactional.
That's the assertion. And looking at the replies, it clearly resonates with a lot of people. There's this acknowledgement of economic pressures, like the high cost of living, rent, even data for your phone. It can normalize expectations where, say, women might expect financial support or gifts as part of the dating dynamic. It's seen less as romance, maybe, and more as a practical exchange given the tough economic climate.
A reflection of harsher realities.
That seems to be the sentiment, yeah. Though others push back, saying genuine connections obviously still happen.
Right. Now we have to address this next one, which is incredibly sad. From @Fimlex2. Crazy how this was her last tweet. Gone too soon free.
Hmm.
This refers to the final tweet from Chioma Oji, a physicist, where she seemed to be giving up after facing intense online harassment. Just heartbreaking.
It really is. Her death prompted this huge outpouring of grief, but also a lot of difficult reflection within the online community about cyberbullying.
The impact it can have.
Exactly. The severe mental health toll of relentless, targeted online abuse. It really underscored the devastating consequences when someone feels completely overwhelmed and defeated by it. A tragic reminder.
Truly awful. Let's end this segment on a much lighter note, shifting focus globally again. A fun Halloween post from @PoojaMedia. Messi and family for Halloween. Lionel Messi as a vampire with the family. It's always cool to see these massive global icons just having normal family fun.
Yeah, these glimpses into their personal lives get huge engagement, don't they? It connects fans to the person behind the superstar status.
Makes them relatable, a bit of fun and nostalgia.
Exactly.
Okay, wow, we have covered a lot of ground today, from deep dives into Anthropic's ownership and AI bottlenecks, to SpaceX's launch cadence, Mariah Carey's annual financial windfall, and some really poignant cultural commentary from Nigeria and beyond.
We really bounced around from the highly technical, the GPU constraints and cloud deals, to the deeply personal, that feeling of burnout, the complexities of relationships, even grief.
A real snapshot of the digital vibe.
But maybe let's loop back to that post about intelligence. The academically brilliant but foolish idea.
Yeah.
If you connect that thought to some of the tech stuff we talked about, like Microsoft having GPUs they can't use because they lack power or physical space,
Yeah.
it raises kind of an interesting question, doesn't it?
Which is?
Well, in a world that's creating information and demands, maybe faster than we can build the physical infrastructure to support it, the data centers, the power grids, which kind of intelligence ultimately offers more survival value. Is it the pure analytical brain power, or is it that practical, adaptive, street-smart intelligence that knows how to navigate real-world limits?
Analytical versus practical in the face of physical constraints.
Something for you to mull over, maybe? Which one truly helps us cope with the messy reality of scaling everything?
That is a great thought to chew on. Okay, that wraps up today's Daily Vibecasting. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.